Hello everyone. Hi student. Here is the matter test, and the matter test, is the first unit test that you have. So the questions are formatted in this type. So what has occurred when bubbles form in a liquid that is being heated? So option A, oxygen has been absorbed from the air, the heat has radiated through the liquid, boiling point has been reached, molecular stability has been increased. So you need to select the right option. Scott filled a tray with juice and put it in a freezer. The next day, Scott opened the freezer. How did the juice most likely change? It condensed, it evaporated, it became a gas, it became a solid. A student has two solid samples of the same substance. Again, a student has two solid samples of the same substance. Which property do the substance most likely have in common? Is it density, mass, shape, or volume? Which basic unit of matter has the same properties as its elements? Is it protons, electrons, atoms, or neutrons? Which describes the property of an element? All elements are metals. All elements have 6 electrons. All elements are pure substances. All elements exist in a solid phase. When you read these questions, make sure that you understand what is being taught and then try to eliminate the things that are not actually the right answer and then slowly get to the correct answer. Okay? Don't rush through. Take your time and do any test and every test. If it's a small one, big one, do nows, anything, try to take your time and try to show that, yes, I got the concept. Okay? I know every student can do excellent work when it comes to any kind of test, as long as you guys learn every day the lesson that is being taught in the classroom and do all the work that is needed for you to excel. Okay, make sure that always goal should be to excel in your academics by actually learning the concepts, not just by hearting them, not just reviewing them here and there, to actually understand the concepts, and then you'll all get very good marks. Got it? Okay. The boiling point of water results in the physical change in matter form. So the boiling point of water results in a physical change in the matter form. Solid to liquid, gas to solid, solid to gas, and liquid to gas. Which of the following has the ability to change the state of matter? Is it heat, wind, light, or sound? When water is changed from liquid to gas, what occurs? So again, the question is, when water is changed from liquid to gas, what is happening? The atom loses electrons, a new compound is formed, molecules spread far apart, hydrogen is separated from oxygen. The mass and the volume of 4 cubes are shown. It says cube number 1, 2, 3, and 4. The mass of cube number 1 is 50. The mass of cube number 2 is 100. The mass of cube number 3 is 125. 4 is 150. And the volumes are shown here. Which cube has the highest density? Now, you need to know the formula for you to actually do it. We did a couple of times in the classroom. We have done it. If you do not know, you can go and review them and then try to do it. Okay? Anita heats a beaker containing water. As the temperature of the water increases, which change to the water molecule occurs? The molecules move faster rate, the molecules become more massive, the molecules expand and become wider, the molecules separate into atoms of hydrogen and oxygen. Which of the following properties does not depend on the amount of the material present? The weight of a bag of lead pellets, boiling point of water of the pot of water, the volume of the cylinder of copper, the heat required to melt an ice cube. Which element is a gas at a room temperature? Is it iron, carbon, oxygen, or sodium? When a wax from a candle drips, the wax has reached its boiling point, melting point, its point of vaporization, or its point of condensation. A sample of matter is made of identical particles. The sample could be an element, a molecule, an atom, or a mixture. Which one is it? When bubbles form in a liquid, which physical state change is happening? So when bubbles are forming, what is happening? Is it condensing? Is it boiling? Is it freezing? Or is it melting? During a science lab, the teacher provided Michael with a triple beam balance, a ruler of four cube-sized, cube-shaped samples of unknown materials. He correctly calculated the densities of the objects and compared his calculation with the data shown below. Based on Michael's calculation and the table shown, which conclusion can be best made about the investigation? Iron has the highest density, aluminum has the lowest density. Weight is used to determine density. Substances can be identified by their density. Question number 17. Materials made of same substance will have characteristics in common. Which property is most likely to remain constant in different samples of the same material? Is it density? Is it mass, shape, or volume? Which of the following which is the most common solvent on the earth? Is it water, salt, sugar, or hydrogen? Question number 19. Which gives an accurate description of varying state of matter? Liquids are tightly packed, whereas solids are loosely packed. Liquids are loosely packed, whereas gases are tightly packed. Solids are tightly packed, whereas gases are loosely packed. Solids are loosely packed, whereas gases are tightly packed. Read carefully for you not to get confused. So each and every question that you see, whether it's just a day-to-day regular classwork, it's a homework, or if it's a quiz, make sure to read the question at least 3 times. Once you finish reading it, try understanding what the question is asking you to do, and then start answering the question. Don't just give A, B, C, C, D, A as an answers, okay? Which is an example of a property that depends on the amount of substance. So again, which is the example of a property that depends upon amount of a substance, mass, boiling point, melting point, or solubility. Which is the best example of a pure substance? Is it AG? Is it salt water? Is it air? Or is it salad dressing? Which state of matter has the lowest density? Solid, solvent, liquid, or gas? Which state of matter has the highest density? Solid, solvent, liquid, or gas? In salt water, what is a solute? Is it water, salt, chlorine, or none of these? In salt water, which is a solvent? Water, salt, chlorine, or none of these? Which may cause a phase change to occur? Change in the atoms, change in temperature, a mutation, or nothing? Which best describes a physical property, can be observed only by changing the kind of matter studied, can be observed without changing the kind of matter studied, can be observed during a chemical reaction, can be observed after a chemical reaction. So again, read through carefully, please, for you to answer the questions. Sarah had 100 grams of each element listed in the chart below, which is also the melting point of each element. So if you see here, copper melting point is 1084, gold is 1086, lead is 270, silver is 961. What would happen if she only melted 50 grams of each element? The melting point of each element would double because the mass has changed. The melting point of each element would decrease by half because the mass has changed. The melting point would occur more quickly, but melting point would remain the same. The melting process would occur more quickly, but the melting point would be decreased by half. Again, read carefully, because some of the questions, if you don't read carefully, you might get confused, and then the answer might go wrong. So take your time to answer each and every question, read through it, and then do your work. Appearance, texture, density are classified as, so if appearance, texture, density, are they chemical properties? Is it a physical property? Is it a magnetic property or a thermal property? Is a question. 30th one, which is true for every atom of an element? It can be seen with a magnifying glass. It is joined together with other atom. it has mass and volume, it's weightless. So again, read through, which is true to an atom. A student has two pieces of aluminum foil. Each piece can be folded, rolled into wires. Why do both pieces of aluminum foil behave the same way? A, they are composed of the same type of atom. They are composed of different types of atoms. They have different physical properties but different chemical properties. They have the same physical but different chemical properties. Again, remember, a student has two pieces of aluminum foil. Each piece can be rolled and wired. Why do both aluminum foils behave the same way? 32, question 32. A student sees the diagram shown in the textbook. So yeah, there's a diagram shown in the textbook. It's the atomic number, symbol, atomic mass. What does the symbol in the diagram represent? It represents what? Is it a compound? Is it an element, a molecule, or an isotope? Read carefully and then try to answer the question. Is it a compound or is it an isotope? Once you know the answer, then try to again read through. So what is it being shown here? Is it an atomic number? SI is a symbol, atomic mass, and then the name of the element is also given. So what does the symbol in the diagram represent? Remember, students, that you need to, first of all, when it is being taught in the classroom, pay attention, read through, and then when you go home, revise. It will take only a few minutes for you to actually go through, do the revision, do your homework, and get ready for the next day. In that process, when you do it consistently every single day, you'll see that at some point, you are able to do your work the right time, right on time, and you also know and you also are aware of what is being taught, and your scores will be high. Also, make sure that you take your notes when the teacher is explaining, and put it in a very systemic method, so that when you look back and for revision or during the EOGs or NCFEs, you will at least know, hey, I know this, I have learned this, and I can also go back and look through my notes so that I can be completely ready for my test. Okay. All right, guys, till the next post, take care and all the best for your new academic year.